Hello again, lovely people. This is Stevo here, checking in once again, or the running Englishman, if you will. Who's simply here to inspire you to be the best and fittest version of yourself. Because if I can manage to do it, then I think that you can too. So today, I just want to discuss this Maffetone method thing and whether it just works for some people or does it work for everybody. So that's what we're going to be discussing in a second. And so we're back with you in a jiff. Intro. So, I was thinking after my run this morning, this Maffetone method thing, does everyone get results from doing this, or is it just a bit of potluck and whether you're going to get the desired results that you're after? I'd love to give you a definitive answer and say yes or no, but the truth is we can't really be sure. So if you don't know already, Dr. Phil Maffetone's website claims that this method works for everybody. And this guy has put in some serious work into this method over many, many years. Plenty of data and stats to go with it. And he's convinced that it works universally. On the other hand, I've read a lot of forums myself. I do quite a lot of looking myself. I've read a lot of forums where people say it just simply isn't working for them. But the trouble that we have with this method is there's so many different things that can make this method not work very well for you or not even work at all from the start, is that without looking at everyone's individual case down to the fine details, that you're never going to know if that person has put all the things in line that you need to do to really get the best out of the method. And the other problem we have is heart rate. If you have a genetically high heart rate, meaning that if you have a naturally high heart rate because of just the way you were born, then the method is going to make you very, very slow at the beginning. And I think a lot of people would just sort of dismiss the method before they've even give it a chance to get going. So let's take my old mate Mikey for an example. He said it's fine, he's a good friend of mine. This morning, we went for a socially distanced 6-mile run around our town. Mike's heart rate when we got back was averaging at 165, and we was running, and our average pace was about 9.5 minutes. So I think we'd agree as well that that's fairly high. And there was times during the run where maybe a slight incline or just picked up the pace by accident where he slipped up to 180 or 190, which is sort of excessively high. Mike's not currently doing the Maffetone method. He was happy to just make it round, so he wasn't overly concerned about it. But that's when I said that is a real high heart rate. Like, does Mike have a genetically high heart rate? He's never had it tested like most of us, or is he just sort of out of shape and his aerobic function isn't brilliant at the moment? And that's what gave me the idea for this video today. So the only way to really know is to get yourself lab tested to see where your heart's meant to be at, or giving this method a try and giving it sufficient time to see if it's working. Because I'm pretty sure that people, if they're running slowly because of the heart rate being so high, I'm pretty sure they're gonna just dismiss the method pretty rapidly and really saying it doesn't work. And that's assuming that they've got everything in line, like the stressless life and your sleep and your nutrition, everything like that. So I think people would probably just say this doesn't work without giving it a fair chance. And another issue that we have is that nearly everybody trains too hard at the beginning without even realising it. So if you've seen my videos before, you'll know I've said it a few times, but before math I was running too hard too often, every time actually, and my heart rate was too high, and I never really felt like it was too hard, but it actually was too hard. So I was doing 8.5 minute miles. When I started math, I went to doing 10 to 11 minute miles. So that was a bit of a shocker to sort of slow down that much. And you can see and totally understand why people would just sort of go away from the method straight away if he was doing that for too long. But it is kind of what happens. You just need to persevere with it. And I recommend reading one of Phil Maffetone's books as well before you start, so you can get a full understanding of how the process is going to go. And so I personally do think that the 180 minus your age formula from the Maffetone method, I think it does find your good maximum aerobic heart rate, but I also do think that it sort of places it a bit below where your actual aerobic heart rate is. And I think they do that as a safety net to make sure that you're not training anaerobically each time. And I did go out and do a field test where I had my watch facing away from me, and I ran at like a conversational pace to see where that compared with my MAF heart rate. And I think my conversational pace heart rate was slightly higher than what my MAF would have been. So I think that makes it a sound plan for the Maffetone's way of doing it, really, because it's just ensuring that you're not going out and training anaerobically, and it's giving it a bit of space to work with down that way. But on the other hand, that could be a reason why it doesn't work for everyone, because not everyone is sort of built genetically the same. And so I read somewhere that it probably works for 80% of people. To me, that sounds like it could be pretty much correct, but you're never going to really know. It feels about right, doesn't it? And you're never really going to know unless you go and get yourself lab tested to find your true training zones that you want to work in, even though they aren't completely accurate. But your MAF heart rate that is worked out over these years is going to be sort of there or thereabouts. And that is what is so appealing about doing the Maffetone method. I mean, not everyone, hardly any people actually have got those numbers to play with. You might not have a lab nearby to get those numbers. So that's what makes it so appealing. The MAF method does all that work for you. You just follow the guidelines, and for the majority of people, it just seems to work. So now I can really only go with my personal journey, which I've had a little bit of success doing the MAF method. I've been doing it for quite a few months now, and yeah, if you see my channel again, I've got a history of running badly, like I just mentioned. And when I started doing the Maffetone method, I was running at 10:50s on my first test. 4 months later, I'd done a test that was like 8:15, so I was hanging around a sort of low 8s area until I changed things up and have gone sort of back up to 9s. But it just shows that you can get everything to work if you really try it. I've got down to my ideal weight doing that as well, so I'm eating healthy. I've been injury free the whole time. I've not had a proper niggle the whole time. So yeah, I've definitely had some success with it. But is that just because of the method, or am I just one of those lucky ones? Maybe so, but I'm just really happy personally that I found the method, and I'll give it a proper go and just to see what it can do, basically. So my final thoughts, and this is only my personal opinion for what I found during my time and doing my own research, is that I think it pretty much should work for everyone, but I don't know 100%. And I think if you've got everything in line and you give it your all, so you've doing a sufficient warm up and a cool down for starters, you've got proper rest and sleep, and recovery is so important. Like, if you're not ready to do 5 or 6 days a week, then don't, and gradually build yourself up. Nutrition, I can't tell you how to eat. My eating habits change all the time, but I'm eating healthy at the moment, and it definitely helps towards making it go in the right direction. If you're managing your stress, your daily stresses, you need a positive mindset to get the ball rolling, and the whole way through it definitely helps. And if you're not overtraining, if you're not doing too much, like if your resting heart rate's going up, I've learned this just recently and I've sorted that issue out. If you're not overtraining and you've got all these things in line, there's absolutely no reason why it can't work for you. And I highly recommend you giving it a try, and just give it sufficient time to see the results. So as always, thank you all for watching again, and I appreciate you watching, taking the time to hear me out. Hit the subscribe button at the bottom if you've not already. And if you've not had success with MAF just for natural reasons, you've done everything to the book but things haven't happened and you think you know why, please let me know in a comment, or just give me an email somewhere. I'm actively learning. I really find the whole thing sort of interesting to learn about, so I'd love to hear from you. And if you've got a good success story, let me know as well. So yes, I will see you on the next one. Stevo.